Oh, let me get ready right here. I want to talk to you a little bit today about um, anger and anger management. I want to talk about that today and talk about how um, anger can affect you to the point it will kill you. It will kill you. You can believe it or not that a lot of people suffer from a lot of illnesses and conditions because they have held in anger for so long. They have, um, they have, kind of pushed it to the side or pushed it to the back, and said, "I can do this. I can live with this. I can make it." And then they start displaying it in other ways that offend other people, and they don't even really realize why they are acting the way they're acting because they think they have it all under control. But then when people talk to them, or when they really decide to take an inventory of why they are acting the way they're acting, they begin to realize that they really, really are are still angry, still very angry. And I can speak to that from a personal standpoint. When you don't control anger, you have a tendency to display it in an inappropriate way or in a way that affects you mentally and physically. So when I say anger can kill you, it literally can kill you. It can eat away at your very being until you find yourself in a place or in a spot where you don't even see your way out of where you are. You know, we try to build these great walls of protection around our brains. As you hear me say, I love Dr. Spock and I mean Spock on Star Trek and all those guys. But one character that I love most, and that was Dr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, because he learned how to control his anger, how to control his emotions. When things were looking really bad, he was still able to do the countdown to somebody said, "Mr. Spock, not now, not now." But it took somebody to say to Mr. Spock, "Not now," for him to realize he needed to stop counting because this wasn't the time nor place. I want to welcome you again to CAMS, another episode of anger management, and I am a certified anger management specialist. I have a YouTube, Della Tingamy on anger management. I also have a Facebook page, Della M. Tingamy. So you can go there and get caught up. And also I have a webpage, www.angermanagementcoaches.com. If you go there, you can set an appointment or a consultation and see if this would be a thing for you to help you in your quest to happiness, on your way to happiness, because there is happiness out there. We have just got to learn some new behaviors. And what I use in my therapy is called cognitive behavior therapy. And if you say it to me enough times and do it enough times the right way, I'll stop doing it the wrong way. So we want to learn some new behaviors. And as I talked about how anger can destroy your life, do you feel yourself alone? Are you saying to yourself, "Oh, I enjoy me more than other people, so it don't bother me to be alone"? You don't have a relationship with anybody, with family, with friends, with a significant other, with God, or whatever the universe, whatever you believe in. If you don't have a relationship, are you jobless? Are you don't have a job? You really don't have anything to look forward to. Do you get up in the morning and you stay in your clothes all day and you don't really do anything? You said people get on my nerves. A good way to approach this is to first recognize that some of these things exist in your life. You own a business, you have no customers, and it could be all due to your anger, to your anger. As I have quoted, and you can quote me on this because I created the quote, you're the boss of your own anger. You are the boss. People can say things to trigger you, but you control whether you react to that or not. And sometimes it can catch you off guard, but once you realize you can stop that. Are you always, do you always leave alone? Do you always go to somewhere you leave alone? You never meet any new partners? It's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous part in your life when you find yourself alone all the time and nobody can get along with you. And the one thing I learned in nursing, the person that keeps saying, I'm not crazy, they are. They probably need some help. Anger can destroy all relationships, all of your relationship with your children, a relationship with your job, a relationship period. It can just destroy it. It can destroy your relationship with your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your wife, anybody that's close to you, church members, you can destroy it. Anytime you can be fired from your job if you remain angry, because they're going to put up with for a little while. And then they're going to get tired of that and say, well, they failed to get along with others. If you are an entrepreneur, your team can leave your company. Your company can go through many things before you realize that you're holding anger because they're moving on without you. You cannot be happy, ever, truly ever happy if you're angry. You can't be. Anger is first, it destroys yourself and then someone else. And the most miserable thing in the world that I could think of is to know that I have harmed somebody else. And when we get angry and we launch out or lurch or however you want to say it, or strike out at other people, when we're angry, then we're sorry later. But it's almost like an abuse. It's a type of an abuse. When you get angry, you spend 2 to 3 days thinking about the person, the things that had happened, and what you could have said and what you did and how you did it. And you're still mad about it because maybe you didn't get to voice how you really felt. Anger is the biggest enemy in our life. You think about how quickly we can become hot-headed and lose our temper. I go right back to Kirk Franklin. He got angry. He got hot-headed. He said some things he wished he hadn't said, or what we heard was the things that he said, but we didn't hear what led up to it. And many times when we're angry, it has nothing to do with that particular time, or that you're acting angry, or your behavior is inappropriate. It has something to do with something in the past. It's like if you hit me once, I might say, and you say, I'm sorry, I probably say, oh, well, okay, don't let that happen. You hit me twice, I'm going to walk away, but then somebody else can reach out to hit me and I'm going to blast off. And it had nothing to do with the fact that they struck me once, but the fact is I've been struck before. So when we act out or we get angry, many times it has nothing to do with the situation right then and there. It's things that are in our past that we haven't dealt with. And so we now have high blood pressure, we have apprehension, we have anxiety, we have depression, we have GERD, we have headaches, we have backaches, and all of it's because of a mental process or a mental thing that occurs in our minds and in our behavior when we get angry. What is anger? What I understand about anger, it is an emotion of negative feelings. It's just like electricity shooting through your body. That's negative because you don't want to shoot through your body to harm you because it can stop your heart. When you desire something or expect something from someone or anyone and they hurt you, that makes you angry. But you know what? The reason why we really get angry is not because of what the person did. It's that it is the expectations that we set on them. And when they don't meet our expectations, then we get angry. We get angry. Anger can be good and it can be bad. You can be driven by anger to, be the next billionaire. But it can be bad when you want to become a billionaire. You become a billionaire, you use your power to make people go into riots or to do something wrong, or, buy into theories or things that are totally inappropriate and cause people to follow you and do wrong. If you control your anger and utilize it in a positive way, it can always be good. It can't turn out to nothing but good, because you have now learned that if I say good morning and it makes you mad, you can turn around and take that good morning and say it must be a good morning because Dr. Tingelman said it is. If you control your anger and utilize it, it is good. But when you use it in a form of negativity for hurting and harming someone, that's when it's really bad. And a lot of people like to know that they can trip your switch. They like to know it because they'll use it to make them feel powerful. But you have to remember, this is your mind, you own it, and you can't allow people to pay rent up here and you can't allow them to live here and they're not paying rent. You can't live in my head, y'all, and don't pay rent. You got to pay some rent if you're going to stay here. Because if I allow you to stay here, then I'm sick and you're going on about your life. When we become angry, when we become angry, and who do we get angry at? We get angry when we don't get what we want, just like a 2-year-old. We act just like a 2-year-old when we don't get what we want. When we get angry, we get mad at other people and we start lashing out and saying things that are hurtful. The best part is you can get your anger under control. And usually the anger is pointed towards a person who's much weaker than you. A person who says, I love you, and I love you unconditionally. And then you lurch out at that person to hurt them. Try to check your anger sometime. Try to put it in park, put it in neutral, and put the brakes on so it don't roll backwards on you. Because in the end, when you're angry, if I move on out your life, if I walk away out of your life, I'm not here, you are angry, but you're still angry about the situation, and you are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. You can convert your anger to positivity if you wanted to. Have trust in whatever God or universe that you believe in. Whatever is going to happen to you, say it's for my good. Whatever is going to happen, hey, Sandra, whatever you say it's going to happen for my good. When you are angry and that thing is drilling down on the inside, I'm sick. My stomach is upset. My bowels are in a roar. My heart is racing. I can't see good. My head hurts. And you have moved on out of the way. But I'm sitting here still stewing in my anger. And that's when it becomes harmful to me. But it's also harmful to people who are in my life because they can see it, they can feel it, and they know when it's coming. Because they'll say, don't say that because that'll make them mad. That'll make them mad. That is when anger is so, so very bad. No one is willing to talk to an angry person. You can't even begin to discuss an intelligent conversation with an angry person. You can't even, you can try. But when they have something set in their mind or they're determined to be their way, they're going to be mad when you start talking, they're still going to be mad because they don't want to hear nothing you got to say. You can talk all the rational you want to because they haven't learned to deal with the anger. But I am a certified anger management specialist. I see clients all over the United States. I even have some in Pakistan. I had to learn the culture so I could talk to them and allow them to learn how to work through anger. And with the pandemic that's going on, I have a new nonprofit started called Turn It Around. And for those in the medical field, TIA means a trans ischemic attack, means it comes and it goes, but we need to stop it. It is the breaking point before you have a massive stroke. And then Turn Around, my idea is to address the young people who have been impacted by COVID-19. I think we have forgotten that group of people in our society. We figure that kids are going to do just fine. No, they are dealing with anger. They're isolated. They're masked. They're homeschooling. The parents have separated. The parents have lost their job. They have lost uncles, aunts, cousins, and grandparents who are a major part of their life. They have lost them through COVID. Now, if it impacts you, it's impacting them, but we don't really think about it. But in TIA, my thing is to offer them a certified anger management specialist who can help them work through that. The child who's giving you problems, who's never given you problems, they're probably dealing with the side effects of COVID-19 and their anger. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And in TIA, I'm going to be able to, once the grant comes through, to provide laptops or Chromes or whatever they need so they can do their virtual therapy right here in their own home, on the comfort of their couch or in their room. They can talk about those things that cannot be repeated because that's what a therapist does. I am a mandated reporter. The only time that I would have to tell anybody if you threaten to hurt others or hurt yourself. But this is what anger is doing to our society. It is taking us down a new path. We have to put on a new norm when dealing with it. And you can do this virtually through me. You can go to my website at www.angermanagementcoaches.com and fill out a form, and it'll bounce right over to my email, and I'll send you the consent and the HIPAA form, and we can get started. You can go to my webpage on Facebook, my Facebook page on Della M. Tingham. You can go there and see some of the latest things that are going on. But again, remember that anger is your enemy. Anger will make you sick. It will give you palpitations in your chest, a nervous switch. Anger will harm you. You can reach me again on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter. See you real soon. Remember, cognitive behavior therapy is your answer to your anger management.